from you. Call or text us at 260-267-0414. Share your stories, your ideas, or just say hi. That's 260-267-0414. This is Crusade with me, where we walk the road back to Eden together. Today's crusade is not about division, but connection, the thread that binds us. Every one of us, because before nations, before religions, before doctrines and schisms, there was the divine, and that divine spark lives in each of us. Think about it. Thousands of faiths, thousands of traditions, thousands of languages, and yet across them all, humanity can't shake this deep, ancient urge. The urge to believe in God. Have you ever asked yourself why? Why is it universal? Why do we, in every culture, every century, feel the need to reach for something greater than ourselves? Could it be because it's written into our very being? Could it be because the same divine breath formed us all? Well, hello, my queen. How are you?
I'm okie dokie.
Are you? Good.
When you were reading the title, The Thread That Binds, I couldn't help but sing Blessed Be the Tie That Binds.
That's right. Yeah, I know. That goes back, that phrase goes back quite a ways, right? There's a lot of religious connotation in the thread that binds. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And this is really a part 2 of our episode 105, where we talked about the good ones, where we talked about good people and how we connect with good people. Mm-hmm. This is about just connection, and that in our world today, mm-hmm. and it seems like, and I say that a lot, in our world today, like this is all doom and gloom and bad. It's not. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a larger portion of the people on this rock starting to recognize what we want to talk about today, about the commonalities, about what we share. We did an episode some time ago called Common Ground, right? Mm-hmm. And probably talked about a lot of the same things we'll talk about today. And I don't know why, I just always think, why don't we talk about this more? Why don't we celebrate connection? The common threads, the threads that bind us together. Why do we so viciously look at the differences? Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about differences in gender, differences in race, differences in culture. Man, there's a lot of common threads. Mm-hmm. And we are all connected. Mm-hmm. Now, some of us more so than others, right? I mean, we've been married. It'll be close to 40. It's 39 years, right? Mm-hmm. Next month, mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. I know you're going to go in a different direction, but it got me thinking, I guess, since that episode, when we were talking about the good people. But I think this is going to tie the two together. Mm-hmm. Have you ever met somebody that you can't explain why you feel a connection to them, and you meet them in a different setting? Right. I mean, like maybe in a professional setting, but you just feel this pull that you just know them maybe on a personal level, right, or you just know that there's a connection. And I guess I'll give an example of that. Like mm-hmm. my audiologist.
Yes. That's a great example.
Denise.
Yes.
And I don't know if I'm supposed to call her Denise, but again, I guess I just feel like I know her on a personal level. But from the moment I met her back in 2015. 14.
16, 14? Okay.
I have just felt like I've known her, and I've not seen her outside of the office, even though I keep dropping hints that we should just meet for coffee because, like, I just saw her this week. And I'm like, we didn't even talk about my hearing aids.
Wow.
I mean, at the very end, she's like, everything good? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay. So I spent 30 minutes. We just talk
That's great.
about religion, our faith, our lives. But I have always, I mean, when we moved away for those 2
Right.
years, she gave me her cell phone. I gave her number. I gave her my cell phone number. And I can't tell you that how when and I think that, and I take this out backpedal a little bit. I think that when we moved away, I didn't even tell her we were moving away, but I was going to text her and tell her, hey, I didn't just fall off the face of the earth. We moved to Arkansas, but I've had this nudging to do that and just tell her, just to like reach out and say, hey, is everything okay? Everything.
Right.
And during that time, a big tragic life event happened in her life, and I don't know how or why or the cause or anything, but she lost her son. And so then when we moved back, I'm like, hey, so, how's everything? How's your son and everything? She's like, well, he passed away. And I'm just like, feel like you stepped in it,
Right. Yeah.
so to speak. And so I don't know what happened or anything like that. And so, but she's just one of the nicest human beings. Again, going back to that, just so kind, quiet,
Right.
just one of those when she talks, you just kind of lean into her. But she's one of those that just, I think in her profession, it's not one that you need to be sharing your faith, but I think she's one of those very shy, but she can't help. So when someone like me comes in, and I'm the opposite, because I am a shy person, but for some reason, I want to make her laugh.
She makes you feel comfortable.
Yes, but there's something indwelling in me. I'm being prompted to make her laugh. I don't know why. And she thinks I'm hilarious, and you think I'm not funny. But there's something about me that I need to make her laugh, and I guess.
So that's where Andrew gets it.
Yeah, but I'm.
I mean, the need to make people laugh.
Yeah, but I don't need to make everybody laugh.
Now I'm going back many years, and I'm not
Um,
calling out Andrew, but
anyways,
at the sacrifice of his high school grades,
yeah,
and the need to make people laugh.
yeah, I'm motivated for different reasons, I think. But anyways, she's just so I told her that this week that I had felt a connection with her from the very beginning, and she said she feels the same. That we just are kind of kindred spirits, and anyways, so I think this is that thread that binds. There's a commonality between us.
And I think this is a lot of what this episode really truly needs to be about, exactly what you're just saying with your story, with your audiologist.
Right.
I mean, look at it this way. When a child looks at the stars for the first time, they don't think about physics. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They think of wonder. When a person suffers, they cry out, often to someone or something beyond themselves. That cry has echoed across millennia. From ancient temples to quiet monasteries, from desert wanderers to modern seekers, the question remains the same. Who made us? And why? Right. That's truly a question from all humanity across all time. So this universal urge is evidence of connection. That you described that very well. That you both, one, because of similarities, you were able to connect without a lot of words even. There was something in almost an instantaneous trust.
Well, there's always that fear of, am I feeling, is it one-sided? Like, or does she just think, oh my goodness, here comes that crazy lady? You know what I mean? But you can tell when you're having conversations with someone and you're like, this is kind of deep.
Yes.
Or you just know there's a commonality between you, clearly.
Right. Well, humanity is diverse. Yet every culture turns upward. They look, what everybody looks for is something very similar. That's
right.
Everybody. And the instinct to worship is not taught.
No.
As much as a lot of people, it is inherited. So that is the mark of the divine. Not just around us, but within us. It is why, even when religions differ, the longing feels familiar. So if we strip away the noise of division and look closer, we see how deeply connected faith traditions truly are, right? So we've done deeper dives into Judaism. And of course, out of Judaism came Christianity. So there's a lot of similarities there. One birth from the other. So sharing the same history, the same scriptures, the same conventional heartbeat, even the wisdom of the East. And I'm thinking more like the Taoistic practices. What some call the way, okay, not me, you find echoes of the same truth that you found in Judaism and Christianity. The balance, humility, reverence for what cannot be seen yet is always present. Judaism and Christianity, they worship the same God of Abraham, same commandments, same longing for restoration. And the way, or Taoism, the idea of flow, harmony, balance, with creation mirrors the Edenic, I'm making up words, walk.
It's what we do.
The union of creation and humanity. So there's a lot of similarities. There's common ground, as we had on another episode. All traditions, even when different in detail, point toward unity with the divine. Why don't we ever lean into that and let that connection be the connection? Because here's the tragedy that I see. We see the differences more than the similarities. We build walls where bridges already exist. We argue over names and forms, forgetting that the breath filling us all is the same. Even within one faith, division has taken root. Long, long ago, there was a great schism, right? To split the fellowship of the East and the West. Each convinced of their righteousness. And the wound still lingers. It's still there, the schism. But beneath the fracture lies unity. Both proclaim the same Christ, the same resurrection, the same hope of life restored. Yet what do we focus on? The differences, the disagreements, the lines drawn in the sand. The great schism was wound, and it is a wound. It was wound up, and it's still springing, but it's not serving. To this day, believers on both sides share more in common than they differ, and unity has been obscured by centuries of arguments. See how silly that is? Seriously. The irony is sharp. The more we argue about what divides us, the less we see the immense ground we already share. And yet, the thread still binds us. The divine is not divided. Only our vision is. Did I interrupt you? It looked like you had something you were going to say.
No. I mean, I'm happy to interject on the.
Yes.
It's kind of like going back to episode 105. It's kind of, to simplify it, why the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Mm-hmm.
Why does the attention always, if you're talking about the good ones, why does the loud voice get the attention over the one that's quiet?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it? Why? I mean,
That's a great
it's
question.
the negative over the
Right.
positive. We focus on the negative and not the positive. It just,
You
I don't know why that is, but
and you know what, that's interesting. Well, I'm trying to slam this together quickly in my brain. I was going a couple different directions simultaneously. I'm not going to try to put a Star Wars in every episode, but we've been watching The Acolyte, which I've not seen before. That's the beginning of the beginning. But anyway, and you know, I like to look to science. When I say I like to look to science, I you know, that kind of triggers me. I like that when it's purely factual science, not
feelings. I know
Well,
you avoid feelings.
Yeah, I do avoid it. No, I'm talking about more. I like factual science versus catered science that's been manipulated.
Yes.
For lack of a better term.
I was going to say, man's opinion.
Yeah, well,
man's fallible.
even with science, you know, you can load a theory.
Mm-hmm.
You can load a theory and then test it, and the way you develop your test will heavily favor one result, which you then say, well, it's scientifically proven. Well, no, you loaded the test. This is not the way. It's not a subjective test. It's not a right. It's a failed experiment in my mind. What is, so I guess where I was first thinking of Star Wars is the dark side and the light, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is darkness? What is dark?
It's something absent of.
It's a void.
It's a
It's
void.
nothing, right? You know that you cannot measure darkness.
Mm-hmm.
The only measurement that science can figure out how to measure is not the only, but when we talk about light and dark, they can measure light by lumens, right?
Yeah.
And they can understand the significance and the brightness of the light, and they measure that in lumens.
Yeah, I had a lovely man at Home Depot explain lumens to me one time.
But there's no measurement for darkness because it's nothing.
Right. Well, how
So
they explain it is it's because it's the absence of light, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Correct. So, in that response, when we talk about the loud, the squeaky wheel, it's void.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That might be a terrible analogy.
No,
but that's where my scattered mind started going and funneling toward as you said that. It is the absolute representation of the light side and the dark side. And the dark side is the loud, the boisterous, and the, so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And the light is the quiet, comfortable in silence, meditative, thoughtful, caring, dare I say, full of love.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And so you see, in what's her name, Denise? You see the light side in Denise
Mm-hmm.
because that shows.
Right. So I think we just have to get better. We who are searching for love and light,
Correct.
we have to be better about blocking out all that.
And that's exactly what I'm trying to
Negative.
talk about
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
episode,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that I don't give a shit if you're Roman Catholic or if you're a Buddhist, for all I care,
Right.
or I don't care.
Right.
I care. We should all care because guess what? From my frame of reference, we all breathe God's breath.
Yeah.
That's what started
God
our
particle.
That's what started our existence, right?
Isn't that what that's called? The God particle, or
Well, we
what
all
they
have
like
the
to call
God
it.
particle in us in our DNA.
DNA,
There's
yeah.
there's only, and I can't remember. I'm not a gnome scientist or whatever. Not the garden gnome. I think I said that wrong. It's not gnome. What do they call those?
Like what?
Genomes.
yeah.
Genomes. I'm not a genome scientist. I just shortened it to gnome. I love gnomes.
I know you do.
I feel like sometimes if you guys are slumped over, I live with gnomes. But anyway. But we are all connected.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we lose sight of that. So before we are on the interstate and the people in Michigan driving like freaking idiots, and I'm only kidding. I'm not really, but that's, you know what? And I'm not going to go there. But before you lose your temper and flip off somebody for driving too slow and holding up traffic, which happens a lot, or, keep in mind that person is just like you. A lot more like you than different. And I don't give a shit what their skin color is. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm really trying to focus on is why don't we celebrate the ties not the ties that bind, the thread.
Sorry, I put that in your head.
You did. The threads that bind. And we have so many more threads that bind us together than we do that separate us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our crusade would grow drastically. And I believe that the true crusade of Crusade with Me would make this existence on this rock be a far better place if more people would join the crusade in holding on to and recognizing the thread that binds us together.
Mm-hmm. Instead of finding things to separate us.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you believe in heaven and hell, God and Satan, whatever the terminology that you're afraid of using, and I'm not afraid of using any of those, or you want to reference the light side and the dark side, the yin and the yang, whatever it is, can you recognize that specifically when you're talking about the dark side, and whenever I talk about the dark side in Star Wars, I always think of the yin and yang symbol, which is black and white, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that represents balance. It's about balance. And St. Paul wrote in a letter to the church in Thessalonica, and Thessalonians, that it was all about, our lives were all about balance, right?
Yeah.
Not about being extreme anything.
Right.
So,
and that's a hard lesson for some people.
Keep that in perspective, folks.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Now, he was also talking about dietary restrictions, and he was a chief Jew, right? I mean, he was a perfect Jew, allegedly. I mean, he killed Christians early on in his life because they were violating Jewish law and rule.
Talk about extremes.
Correct. And so he lived it. He saw it. So years later, he writes, it's about balance. And he was really talking about the dietary restrictions of the Jewish law, saying everything is acceptable, not everything is profitable. Mm-hmm. Everything's permissible, not everything is profitable. Meaning, if you want to eat a pork roast, eat a pork roast. That's what seriously.
Right.
Because they divided it by cloven and uncloven hooves and all these things, which are not in the Ten Commandments. That was man-made.
Right.
Right.
Our other favorite thing to say is Old Testament, but if bless the heart, not the ceremony. When we are in question of something, we don't do it.
Correct. Correct. Well, I think, yes, it was, I would rather have the wrong ceremony with the right heart than the right heart with the wrong ceremony.
Yeah.
I think I just said it completely backwards.
No, you said it right.
Okay. But that's it. That's you know what? I do want to give a shout out. If you've got a thought, a laugh, a crazy idea, or anything, you can call us or text us at 260-267-0414.
Because we're the king and queen of crazy thoughts.
Yes, we are. So seriously, it's more fun when we're part of the conversation and when we actually get that connection, that thread that binds. All right. So what if instead of beginning with differences going forward, we began with connection? What if when we met someone of another faith or another tradition, even another worldview, our first thought was not, how are we different? But where is the divine spark in you? So there's 3 practices for living in connection. See the divine first. Mm-hmm. Before judgment, before labels, look for the spark that unites you. Number 2, ask what we share. Peace, justice, love, humility. Nearly all faiths teach these. Begin there. Mm-hmm. And guard against pride. The moment you believe only your path is valid, you cut the thread that binds us all together. Mm-hmm. We are connected. Not in theory, but in truth. Every human carries the breath of the divine. To deny that is to deny Eden itself. Crusaders, listen well. The world will try to divide us by tribe, by nation, by creed, but the thread that binds us is stronger. The same breath made us. The same divine spark lives in us. The same Eden calls us home. Do not be blinded by difference. See the connection. Walk in it. Live in it. Guard it. For together, not apart, we return to Eden, and together we were made for it.